This is part 2 of 2 for the Homeless Registry training, and we will continue with examples of body language. This is an example of good body language. If you have someone that is lying on the ground, I don't expect you to also lie on the ground to be at eye level with them, but still maintain the 45-degree angle and also let them have their personal space. This is a not so good example of body language. The survey respondent is looking up to the volunteer. The volunteer could have crouched so that both of them would be at the same eye level. Another great example of good body language. Same eye level, and the volunteer is staying out of the respondent's private space. Even if someone is living in a tent or makeshift shelter, it is still their private space and should be treated as such. Remember safety first, so always have a buddy. Be assertive and keep focused on the task at hand. Be respectful and sensitive, and be persistent in completing your explanation of what you're doing, and if they are still not interested, that's fine. Photographs. So why do we need pictures? Photos help in identifying someone so that in the future an outreach team can go back to the noted location on the survey and have the photo as reference. If someone doesn't want their photo taken, that's okay. Just be sure to provide a detailed description of their location at the end of the survey. Now let's review some good and bad photo examples. This is obviously a bad photo. The person's face isn't completely within the frame and they're making a face. Again, obviously a bad blurry photo. Here's a good example of a photo. The person's face is completely in the frame and the image is not blurry. Another great example, clear and face completely in the frame. This is a technique that volunteers can use to remember which name goes with which face. After taking a photo of the survey respondent, have the next photo be the survey with their name. This is an easy way of keeping track. Please make sure that you are close enough so that the photo is clear and legible. Technique number 2 is taking a photo of their ID if they have one, and of course you have to receive their permission to. Again, make sure the photo is clear and legible. Technique number 3 is a way to encourage someone to take a photo that may not want to by having a volunteer offer to take the photo with them. Using this technique is up to the discretion of each individual volunteer. Cameras. There should be enough digital cameras to provide each team with at least one. However, feel free to bring your personal digital camera so your team members don't have to wait if there are 2 surveys being conducted at the same time. Also, if you do decide to bring your personal camera, don't forget to charge it and bring cords for downloading, or you can just remove your memory card from the camera and insert it into one of the universal card readers that we'll have available at the deployment site. The photos will be submitted with the person's survey responses on an online national database. It will be dark during the homeless registry, so of course you'll need flashlights. I have provided each team with 3. If you have your own flashlight, I encourage you to bring it just in case. It couldn't hurt to have extra flashlights for your team. I encourage our volunteers to practice the survey prior to meeting. On the night of the homeless registry, I would like to have a brief training session so that our teams can get out and start the registry as soon as possible. The brief training session will review the survey process, the areas each team will be assigned to, and answering general questions. Practice introducing yourself and explaining what you and your team are doing. Practice explaining the consent form and the Veterans Affairs Medical Records Release form. Also practice the survey questions. Let's review the key points you will be explaining within the consent for interview form, which is the first page of the Vulnerability Index survey packet. The key points are, you'll be asking questions about health and housing, participation is voluntary, they'll be asked for a social security number, and for permission to take their photo. Explain that they can opt not to have their photo taken and skip any questions they feel uncomfortable answering. Explain that as a token of appreciation for their time, at the end of the survey they'll be given a $5 gift card. Let them know the information will be stored and kept safe and that it will not be shared based on the agreement, and that any persons receiving the information will treat it as confidential. Explain that signing the consent form means they agree to participate in the survey, agree that the information they provide may be shared for the purposes of follow-up contact and/or for planning services and housing, and agree that the information may be shared for performing research activities. Asking for consent to take the respondent's photo can wait until the survey is completed. If they consent, they are agreeing that the photo can be taken and saved, it can be used in public materials, and that photos can be taken of ID or paperwork. If the person you are surveying states that they are a veteran, request that they fill out the VA Medical Records Release Form. This form will help the Department of Veterans Affairs determine if the veteran is eligible for medical benefits. The key points to explain are that filling out the form is voluntary, that it will require their Social Security number, that the form will be used to determine their eligibility for health benefits through the Department of Veterans Affairs, and that all information provided will be kept confidential. Take at least 15 minutes and practice a survey with a partner, family member, or friend. The more familiar you are with the questions in the survey process, the more comfortable you'll be surveying respondents. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at cgallagher@pico-rivera.org, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. To wrap up, make sure to bring your cell phones and chargers. If you're bringing your personal camera, remember to charge it, and if you bring a flashlight, make sure it has batteries. I'll have some backup AA batteries, but supplies are limited. Remember to wear bright-colored and warm clothes. I suggest you bring an umbrella just in case we get rain on either night. We're going out rain or clear skies. I hope you find this training presentation helpful, and I'll see you Tuesday, January 29th at 8 p.m. for the homeless count, and Wednesday, January 30th at 8 p.m. for the first day of the Homeless Registry. Thank you very much for dedicating your time to Pico Rivera's Homeless Count and Registry. Your support is greatly appreciated. Again, feel free to email me if you have any questions. Thank you.